Good afternoon, dear Kenyans. Many people have pushed me to talk about ADANI. ADANI, very interesting development in this country. I've read a tweet by my friend Donald Kipkorir, lawyer Kipkorir, who says we are now ADANians. Everything has turned into ADANI airport, ADANI this, ADANI everything. We are beginning to joke with very serious matters. So people have asked me, Manyora, what is your position? I must admit that I know very little about ADANI. But the little I know is enough to make me, like many other Kenyans, mad enough to want to do bad things. Things you can't say publicly. I know what people want me to say. They want me to join others in lamentation and condemning Kenyans who are selling their country. I will not do that. I know those who are asking me to talk are asking me to talk about the road theft, the don't care attitude, the rape of motherland, but I'm not going to talk about that. I know people want me to ask those involved with this ADANI deal and other similar deals if they know they are destroying the country. I will not ask them that. I know people want me to tell our thieves enough is enough, but I will not tell them that. I know I'm being asked to show that a deal like this, in the words of the late John Pombe Magufuli, may God rest the soul of that great son of Tanzania, peace. I know people want me to say like Magufuli, a deal like this can only be entered into by a lunatic. I will not say that. I know people want to say this is a rotten deal. We are selling the soul of our country. I'm not going to say that. So what am I going to say this afternoon? This afternoon, as a good human being, endowed with a good spirit and a good heart, I want to address myself to foreigners who are doing business with us, Kenyans and Africans. I'm talking about foreign countries, Western countries, America, Europe. I'm talking about Japan, and I'm talking about China, Russia, and all these foreign countries that are doing great business with Africa. I address myself to you today. I hope this will get to you. And I want to advise you, in your own interest, to do business with the people of Africa. Do business with Kenyans. And that's where the ADANI group falls. If you are a multi-dollar company, a business empire, and you are spreading your resources across the world, especially third world countries, Africa, Kenya, for example, my advice to the ADANI group, as indeed is my advice to foreign nationals and foreign countries trading with Kenya and Africa, if you really value your resources, your investment, then invest with the people of Kenya. Do business with the people of Africa. That is sustainable, that is safe, that has minimal risk. The recklessness with which foreigners are doing business with Kenya and Africa is not sustainable. As a good Kenyan, as a good human being, I'm advising for free that you should be mindful of your investment. Doing business with leaders who have clearly demonstrated that don't care about their countries, that they will hold their countries to be raped, is a risky, stupid affair. You must be a very careless businessman not to care where you are investing your dollars. My advice to foreign nationals, foreign countries, foreign companies like ADANI, think twice. If the only security you have is in the leadership of the countries in which you're doing business, you are a reckless investor. Why do I say so? From your own assessment, and don't wait for anybody to do it for you, make your own assessment and see the recklessness, see the wanton theft and rape. Look at how much these businesses stink. Look at the level of theft involved in these businesses and ask yourself whether indeed such an investment is sustainable. How safe is your investment if you enter in these shoddy deals that even a 5-year-old child can't buy? How safe is your investment? Your investment, according to your small brain, is safe merely because those in power in some African country have your back, because you are eating with them. But a closer scrutiny, and not even a very intelligent one, I'm not even sending you into any mental gymnastics. Just scratch the surface of that deal and ask yourself whether a deal like that could stand anywhere else in the world apart from Africa. And then follow that with another question. For how long will African people, and by African people I mean the young people whose future we are busy destroying and auctioning, ask yourself for how long these young men and women with some reasonable measure of education are going to stand that rape of their countries. Then you have the answer. The answer today I've leaked to you. If you are in the ADANI business, if you are a foreign country, a foreign national, if you are a China, if you are Japan, if you are wherever you are, if you are a serious multinational, investing your dollars in Africa, in Kenya, your business is sustainable only if you do the business with the people of Africa. Your business and your dollar is as safe as the investment you make in the people. To invest merely because you have the promise of the corrupt leadership of an African country is to build your house on quicksand. Why? It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. The people of Africa, and I say the people of Africa to mean the young men and women of Africa, increasingly becoming knowledgeable with the penetration of education and technology, who are becoming global citizens, who look at stretches of history of the exploitation of the black race, of the shame and exploitation of slave trade, of the transatlantic trade of African men and women ferried across the Atlantic to go and work on plantations to enrich the West, with thousands of them dying in the seas and being tossed in the seas. They are aware of that history. They are aware of the exploitation of the African race by other races. These young men and women will not allow these things to continue. Invest in Africa. Invest in the people of Africa. Invest with the people of Africa. Invest with the people whose future we are busy destroying. Invest with the young people. If you are a Chinese company in Kenya, employ Kenyan engineers, young men and women, and don't exploit them. If you are doing a road construction work and you are a Chinese company or a Belgian company, engage in technology transfer so that after you do 200 kilometers of roads in Kenya, we have a sizable number of engineers who can do some road technology transfer. Invest with the people of Africa. If you come to do business here, don't cut deals with African leaders. Do clean business and involve African young men and women, educated. Let them be part of your investment. But that's not going to happen if you come in as a thief, as a robber, to come and exploit and rob the people of Africa. Then you will not do things above board, and you will not do those things with Africans. You'll do them with African leaders whose assurance is short-lived. So I'm not talking about the ADANI deal in terms of all the things people are saying, in terms of how crazy that deal is. I'm talking about ADANI in a much more general way and saying, you are a poor investor. You are scattering your resources into wasteland. Because if you do not invest with the people of Africa, if you rely on the leadership of Africa, the corrupt leadership of Africa, a time will come when your investment will all go to waste. And when the people of Africa, the people of any country, say they are not going to pay you if they are your loans, the question I want to ask you, what will you do to them? Answer that question. When the people invade your project and say enough is enough, walk out of this country, and they escort you to the airport, answer that question. What will you do to the people? At the end of the day, the people will have spoken, and the voice of the people is the voice of God. And that voice will be telling you, enough of your shenanigans and exploitation and theft. We are good people, we shall not slap you. Just take the next flight and go home. And never look back. Those days could come. Because the population you are dealing with is aware of all this, of what has been visited upon Africans for centuries. A time is coming. A time is coming when the African man and woman will demand their pound of flesh. And they will say it's because, like in the words of Shakespeare, they deserve it. Don't allow your greed to send you into trouble. And the trouble is coming unless you think twice unless you see how shaky the protection you have is. The protection from people who hold power, but only for a time. When they are not there, and you face the African people, when you come face to face with the real owners of Africa, and they ask you to account and to answer questions, you'll wish you had listened to me and came to Africa that has potential, great opportunities. This country called Kenya and many and other African countries have great opportunities for genuine business. Why do you choose shortcuts? Don't wait to regret. Just change your ways. Retract your steps. Think about how much you are going to waste unless you invest with the people of Africa. I rest my case.